And then, of course, the thing that's not so funny, which I found very disturbing, I had absolutely no, in Holland, in the 30s, there's no television, no radio. If something happens in India today, 2 minutes later you get it on the television here. That doesn't happen. I had no idea of what was going on with the blacks and the whites in this country. Absolutely no idea. I was never taught, I never read about it. I lived 2.5 years in the Bronx before I went into the army. I never knew about this. I never did. I was never told. I never asked. I never knew. When I was drafted into the army, they put me in a hellhole called Blackstone, Virginia. I don't know how it is today. I'm talking now 50 years ago, okay? And it was a hellhole. It really was a terrible place. I've never seen people live like that in my life. They have a place over there called Camp Pickett, Virginia. And it was right outside that small town, Blackstone, Virginia. Well, I had my first weekend pass. Not enough to go to New York. Let's see what Richmond is like. So I went in the army bus and they dropped us off at Richmond. And some guy says, take that bus over there and I'll take you to probably the only movie theater they had at the time in Richmond. I go in the bus. I put my money in the slot. I look in the front of the bus. No seats. Go all the way to the back of the bus and I sit down. The bus doesn't move. So I says to myself, well, being from the Bronx, what usually happens is the bus driver is a little ahead of schedule. So he'll lay over a couple of traffic lights to catch up with the schedule. All of a sudden I hear the bus driver say, hey, soldier. Well, I didn't have to look behind me. I was sitting up against the back of the window. So I knew it was me. Pulls me over, says, you cannot see. And I had enough problems finally to speak English and listening to the Bronx, come down in Virginia to listen to those people was a whole different language to me. Half the words he said I didn't understand. I figured out what he said, but it was very hard for me to understand. Somebody from the South cannot sit back there. So I says to him, did I put my money in there? He says, yeah, I can sit where I want. Room, right back to the bus. He wouldn't move. I had no idea why not. I didn't know why he even asked me the question. I thought maybe he didn't see me put the money in this thing. And an old black man got up. I never forget this. Coveralls, wrinkled face like a prune, like a real hard-working old-time farmer. No teeth in his mouth. I never forget this. And he said something to me. That was a foreign language to me. I could not understand a word this man was saying. He sat down. Then a young girl got up and she spoke to me, but with her head down. She wouldn't look me straight in the eye. And she explained to me. She showed me that white line in the bus that goes bottom of the bus all the way to the top of the bus. And she shows me a sign that says white and colored. And I looked at that bus driver and I saw an SS guy sitting behind that wheel. That's what I saw. I didn't see the bus driver in uniform. I saw a guy sitting behind that wheel in an SS uniform. I just came out of this. And now I come to this country and I'm seeing the same thing. I got off the bus. I wouldn't stay on the bus. I got off the bus. And then I waited till the army bus came back. I went back to camp. I never went back to Richmond.